The UK has struggled for years to find somewhere to put its nuclear waste. Now they've come up with the idea that instead of picking a site and imposing the waste dump on some community, you actually get a community to volunteer.
This is a map of Cumbria, the Lake District. We've got Windermere here. You can see the Windermere there is 3 miles roundabout long, and so the plan is for this nuclear dump to be 14 miles square and 1,000 metres deep. It's an insane plan to think of burying high-level nuclear waste under the ground. It's just madness. It doesn't matter wherever it would be put, because it's going to be close to somewhere else. It's going to be close to aquifers along here. It's going to be close to the all the lakes here. You've got the spiral. I think Wordsworth called it the wheel of all the different lakes going round there. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's the water and the aquifers all run out to the sea from the lakes. But what the scientists are saying is that the geology of Cumbria is so sort of complex and diverse and fractured that the water from the nuclear dump would actually, the plan is for it to run out to the Irish Sea. That is the plan. But what the scientists are saying is that the water would actually come up to the surface far sooner than it ever reached the Irish Sea. From Wastwater goes the 7 miles to Sellafield to actually goes to there to Sellafield to actually cool the wastes at the moment. 4 million gallons every day of fresh water going to cool the wastes. And there's Ennerdale water there. Actually, water from Ennerdale water goes to Workington area. Bassonthwaite there. Thirlmere, there's Ullswater there. Thirlmere, which is the one right in the centre here. I think that goes to Manchester, Thirlmere's water. The most precious resource really is fresh water. You can do without electricity, but you can't do without fresh water. It's the government's rush for new build, and they want to be seen to have a solution to the nuclear waste problem, so that they can go ahead and build even more dangerous nuclear power plants producing even more dangerous nuclear waste.
Where we are, no we want. 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 Where we are.
Cumbria is back in the frame for geological disposal because of a few councillors who have said, yes, we'll express an interest, and that's it. It's only it's a handful of councillors. Cumbria is not a willing volunteer for this.
Takes waste
the full county council, 80 councillors, they were denied a vote in 2008, and again last October they were denied a vote, and they're really angry about that. Germany, although Germany is now phasing out and stopping nuclear power completely, so it's taken waste from all over the world. So it really is the world's biggest and most hazardous site. And what the government should be doing is putting all their money and expertise into looking after the existing waste on site, rather than thinking about dispersing it out. It just be dispersed out to the wider Cumbria. And at the moment, you know, the waste is on a small part of this Sellafield site at there near the village of Seascale, at Sellafield. So it's on a 6-kilometre site, a small part of the 6-kilometre site. So what the government want to do is expand that nuclear footprint to a huge area of Cumbria, and instead of actually containing and controlling and maintaining the waste on a small site, it would be dispersed, and once dispersed, the genie's out of the bottle. They accepted that Cumbria would be complicit and would be the national, and to be quite honest, it wouldn't just be the national, it would be the international nuclear waste dump.
Right. Tomorrow, what's happening tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is the decision of all the three councils. It's Cumbria County Council and Allerdale and Copeland Borough Council. They're going to be making the decision as to whether to go forward to what's called Stage 4. But they really need to say no now.
Normally, 30 minutes would be allowed for questions. I have decided to extend that to 60 minutes, recognising the passions and arguments which have been aroused, because nothing, I have no objection to those of whom there questions with a very short statement. So I cannot allow, and I will not allow, my colleagues and I will not this kind of intimidation and underhand tactics. Yes.
Oh, you lot are so scary. Look at these scary people.
Last month we have received hundreds of emails, letters and telephone calls about the wisdom of progressing to Stage 4. We have been under intense and immense pressure, but I am pleased that we have remained focused and purposeful while seeking considerable clarification and explanation of the many complex issues associated with the disposal of nuclear waste.
Everybody's not allowed in, so much for democracy.
Although we do have a lot of people in there asking questions, you have to submit your question beforehand, and then those that were in, and they've extended it an extra hour for the questions because of the demand for the questions, so that is something.
Good.
I don't know if it makes any difference.
Good. What's that?
We don't want our groundwater poisoned and a toxic legacy for millions of years.
I'm Brent. I'm campaigning against nuclear power. Basically, they've lied to us since the Queen opened Calder Hall in the 1950s. They've lied to communities. They've lied most of all to the workers at Sellafield in the past. And why should we believe that they're telling the truth now? We want to close down nuclear power because they haven't got a safe way of dealing with the waste for the next 100,000 years, and we want alternative jobs. We don't think anybody should lose their jobs there. They should be using their skills to build renewables and useful things for the environment.
Yes. I'm here because I'm anti-nuclear altogether. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. It destroys the earth. The weapon side of it as well, it's just all wrong, and I don't want it on my doorstep.
Yeah. So you think it's not a good idea to put the nuclear waste underground?
Definitely not, no. I've researched a bit about a site in Germany called Assay-2, which was claimed to be a safe geological site for waste, and it's currently corroding and water's getting in, which is going to come up onto the surface, and it's proven it's not safe. I don't care what they say, it's not safe.
I think that they are taking advantage of a community that's already economically disadvantaged. The west coast of Cumbria for generations has suffered from poverty, and it's a really deprived area, and they are trying to push nuclear dump onto that area because they have the promise of more jobs and more investment. And so people that are poor and that need opportunities are going to say yes to it. And I think that's really sad. I think that's sickening that they would take advantage of people's problems. Having Sellafield on the west coast hasn't meant that it's been saved and pulled out of poverty. It does mean that there are jobs there, and I know a lot of people that are employed by Sellafield, and it is a place that employs people on a semi-skilled level, so that it's not just kind of shops and service industries. It is important to them in many ways, I can see that, but the reason why they've chosen that area, I'm sure, is partly because they think that they can persuade people with more money and job opportunities, and I think that's really sad. My family from the west coast, and people have struggled there for a long time, and here today we'll hear people saying, well, you're not from round there, you don't know, but we are from round there, and we do know. And we've seen young people like trying to find jobs and trying to find opportunities, and there isn't a lot out there. It's just really, it's a sad situation to be in, really.
Thank you. We want to know what the trade unions think about this process that's going on here about geological dump. Would you like to talk about it?
No, you're all right, thank you.
You don't want to talk about why it's important to you to be standing here today, to take the day off work and come here? Are you a Sellafield worker? You don't want to talk to us? Used to be. Anybody want to say why they're here? Anybody want to say something to the camera as to why you're here? No.
I'm a trade unionist, I'm a member of Unite. I disagree with my colleagues here because I think they're being short-sighted and too narrow. They're under pressure because of jobs, because capitalism abandoned West Cumbria basically when they closed down the industry, and they're dependent on that or building nuclear subs in Barra. And I think we need to look for alternative industries and jobs there, and only the government can provide that.
Well, I think it's really misguided of the unions not to realise that we are not against the workers at Sellafield. I mean, we want the whole thing exposed. We want to know what is going on with this industry. We want a proper regulatory system. So what are they doing, backing this insane idea of a repository site in Cumbria, and not actually using this opportunity to actually highlight what's actually going on with those workers? Maybe you can put it in a better way than me, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, we obviously need a safe place to store the nuclear waste that's wrongly been produced in the last 50 years. But Sellafield, the big business and the government want to find this in order to be able to produce more in the next 50 years. And you know, those colleagues there wrongly think that this is the only way to keep their jobs and livelihoods, and basically they've thrown themselves at the feet of the multinationals and the government, who are only there to build bombs and to make bombs and profits.
Why are the unions out? Why are they supporting this? And they're trying to claim that it's going to create more jobs, and they're just supporting the workers, and it's the good old working class that they're out here to defend today. But I haven't seen Sellafield unions march for anything else. I haven't seen them out be publicly protesting for the safety of workers, for better wages, or anything like that before. So to see them out today is ridiculous. You know, they don't stand for the workers, and I don't really know why they're here. Maybe you should ask them why they're here.
You talk to me.
You've been here before,
well, you don't want to talk to me on camera.
She's been round this twice.
Your point of view?
No, she's been round this twice.
Yes, but I haven't interviewed you. Don't you want people to hear what you've got to say?
I've told you I've got 4 children, 6 grandchildren, none of them look like that. And I've worked in the nuclear for 42 years.
Nice thing to say.
42 years.
Yes, but these are children that are like that. These are children who and they used to do. But I'm not asking you about that. I'm asking you why you're here. I'm asking you why you're here. Don't you want to tell me?
You believe in the process.
You believe in which process?
I'm not going to.
What, don't you want people to know why you're here?
Yeah, what we do want people to hear. What we do want people to hear is the truth and not propaganda, which people are putting out.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that geological damp here would be...
It's obvious that you're not here for the truth, because you're trying to put that in front of people.
Yeah, I'm against nuclear power. I don't hide that. Obviously. I think there needs to be a solution, but I don't think we have to sit on different sides of a fence. I think those of us, we all know that there needs to be a proper solution for nuclear waste, and I think you as a community are being palmed off with a solution that isn't a solution, because you've got the worst geological...
We would not be palmed off by anybody. If it comes out that the ground is not suitable, then we will not be supporting it.
But has that not been already proved from a previous inquiry?
No.
The geological study of the area has been done.
It hasn't been done properly.
So what does that mean properly?
Well, it hasn't been done. It's been done with a slanted view. So that's all. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
We are not nuclear waste! Bury a job when you can't drink the water! No nuclear waste! Bury a job when you can't drink the water! No nuclear waste! Bury a job when you can't drink the water! No nuclear waste! Bury a job when you can't drink the water! No nuclear waste! Bury a job when you can't drink the water! No nuclear waste! Stop!
You say you remember Windscale?
I do, yes. They threw the milk away as far south as Preston for several weeks because it was too radioactive to drink. That was a fire which they said couldn't happen. If they'd have put the water on 2 hours later, we would have had a disaster similar to Chernobyl. Different radionuclides, but it would have been a blast similar to Chernobyl.
And how do you feel about this new proposal of a nuclear dump here in Cumbria?
Well, I think it's absolutely and utterly stupid, and nobody with any common sense would do it, because apart from anything else, our uncertain and very complex geology, we're a very wet area, and the nuclear industry has said since 1998 that it should be in an arid, dry area and flat, and that water should not get to it. The radioactivity in the waste hasn't changed. It's still hot. It will still create steam. It will be hotter 1,000 metres down, and also the steam will force open even more cracks in the rocks, and we'll get radioactive contamination. Rather similar to what we have on the beaches now.
What you were saying earlier about the contamination and the monitoring and what's happening here at Sellafield in Cumbria.
Yes, they're making sure that the beaches are monitored every week, possibly every day, except during the summer holidays, because they don't want to frighten visitors. But they're picking radioactive particles up. These have been reported in the Sellafield newsletter, and yet they don't even have the courtesy to put signs up warning people not to take the children on the beach because there are radioactive particles there. In fact, some people organise sandcastle competitions. The fact that they will not do it during the summer holidays, I think, is disgraceful. The reason it's blowing ashore is because all the plutonium was discharged in the 70s from the end of the Sellafield pipeline. They thought it would stay in the silt and be safe there forever. But winds and tides are bringing it ashore. It blows in the wind, then it dries out, it comes up in the sea spray, then it dries out, and then it blows around the beaches.
Right. Thank you very much.
Talked about the 4 options that they had to vote on. First option being Allerdale and Copeland to participate in the next stage. Second option to be only Allerdale. Third option to be only Copeland. And fourth option not to participate. And so the first thing that happened was a representative from Allerdale asked for Allerdale to be taken out of the choices. And that was voted unanimously. Well, no, it wasn't voted unanimously at all. A few people voted for it, and it still happened. I don't quite know how that works, but that worked. So Allerdale now is not being considered. So the options left are Copeland only or not at all. And then they put forward 2 other councils put forward 2 amendments. First amendment was if it is just Copeland, not to include the Lake District National Park. That amendment still has to be voted through. I got nosebleeds, by the way, that's why I And then the I don't know if I did that. And then the one that not to participate. The amendment there was not to participate and lobby the government for more money to surface storage. Probably, I imagine, at Sellafield, but they didn't say that. They just said for more money for surface storage. And that is an amendment we still have to be voted on. And now they're entering into a good debate about that.
We are not willing! We are not willing! We are not willing! We are not willing!
Only this year we found that the swallows were collecting midges and feeding them to their chicks because the midges were radioactive. These were collected from over the ponds at Sellafield, over the cooling ponds. So with radioactive chicks which were grown to swallows, which were taking the radioactivity back to Africa or from wherever they come from, and they're dropping it over allotments and wherever they fly. But also, this must have been going on for years because Sellafield had to cull pigeons and mammals around the site when it's too radioactive. We once had radioactive pigeons which were roosting on someone's roof, and the two ladies had to have a new roof because it was too radioactive, and they had to have a radioactive path removed and replaced by Sellafield, plus the drain pipes and the gutters.
It's difficult to follow everything that's going on, but I think they accepted those. So what remains is 5.3 option, which is for Allerdale to be withdrawn, Copeland to continue, but the Lake District National Park to be withdrawn from that, or not to participate with the amendment put forward by the chairman to put to the government to store the waste at surface level. At surface level, yeah, not to go deep to geological.
Hello.
Hey.
What happened?
Oh well, we've just done the result. Really long debate and everything, and lots of talk. And Eddie Martin said that he didn't want to prostitute Cumbria for a mess of pottage, which is what the nuclear dump would be. And so yeah, it's just amazing. Exhausted, but absolutely
brilliant.
Amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Amazing result.
Well done.
And it's all due to guys like you know, Southwest Against Nuclear, and all the people, you know, that have really put a lot of effort into raising awareness and telling people about it.
Cool,
so
brilliant.
The council have really taken it on board, and I mean, Copeland Council will probably say yes. We don't know what their result is yet, but they can't go it alone. Cumbria County Council is the big overarching authority, and they've said no, and that's fantastic.
Excellent, brilliant. Thank you.
And your title, who do you represent?
My name is...
From the other side, right? So, yeah.
My name is Mary Ann Davidson, and I represent myself, the resident of Allerdale, a concerned resident.
It's been decided, it's all off now, all the options seem to have been closed. How do you feel? What's the reaction here?
Absolutely ecstatic. I didn't believe that it would be this way. Running up to, it was 50-50. Last night I felt 99% certain that it was a done thing. And I've sat in that room and I've listened to those councillors. And I have to say the absolute respect that I've got for the leader of our county council, for an honourable man. I'm proud to be here today, I really am.
What do you think's brought about this decision? You say yesterday you were 99% sure it would go the other way. What's changed? What do you think's caused this change in a way?
Common sense. Common sense has been listened to. The common sense safety issues. Common sense
there has been no guarantee of the right to withdraw, although it was being asked for years. If it exists, why not legislate it? The council had 3 points they wish to clarify of government. They've put them again and again. None of them have been forthwith. So to me, it's common sense. They've listened to the people, they've listened to the voices of the people, and they've made a decision.
Cumbria will give the green light to nuclear power around the UK, one of which is near Bristol's Hinckley. Get involved in Stop Hinckley if you can. They're having regular demonstrations outside Hinckley. So we want to stop new nuclear power. Hinckley Witchbox. Stop nuclear power in the UK. Let's go for a green alternative.
Thank you. Witchwatch, you heard about Witchwatch?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've got friends that go there.
Brilliant, brilliant.